Good morning, it's Wednesday. Apologies, I am a little bit late. I decided to hang on for a load of washing because I promised the kids I'd get their cuddlies washed today. Put it on the washing line. Well, my washer decided to run a bit late, and then put it on the washing line, and my washing line decided to smell. So, one of those mornings. Anyway, today we are going to be playing with Angelina Fibre. So, this is something you've asked me about. And it is a lovely medium to work with. It is incredibly messy though, but in a different kind of way. So imagine those can of worms that I had when I was a kid, a little can, and you took the lid off and the worms just go poof. It's the same with Angelina Fibres. You open the bag and they just go everywhere. So word of warning, if you're using your Angelina Fibres, you will be finding the fibres for weeks. I've already got them. I've literally pulled my drawer out and I've already got them all over me. They're all over me, my pants, my top, everywhere. But they are beautiful. So you have been warned. So I'm doing a lot of sews this morning, aren't I? I wasn't quite sure where to start. So we'll start with what are Angelina Fibres. Let me do this. That is what we'll do. So this is my tray of Angelina Fibres, and you can see they come in lots and lots of different colours. I haven't got all the colours in this box, but we do have lots and lots of colours, and they are just absolutely little fine strips of fusible fibre. So they're called Angelina Fibres or fusible fibres. There we go. And they come in, they normally come in 10-gram bags, or you do like a sampler set of 6 different colours, which is really useful. And I've decided I'm going to use a couple of colours out of this one today. And you're going to need, so we go with your Angelina Fibres or fusible fibres, whichever one you want to use, some greaseproof paper. Mine's fresh out of the packet, as you can see. And always go for a bigger piece than what you think you're going to need, because basically you need to make a sandwich with this. You're going to put your fusible fibres in it. You're then going to want to put the flap down, as I call it, and then you iron on top, and that way it protects your work surfaces and your iron as well. So speaking of irons, you're going to want, this is my ratty iron, as I call it. You can see it's not turned on. I've not plugged it in yet, which is why I'm touching it. You can see it's got glue stuck to it. It's normally full of paint, which it isn't. Oh, it's coming off actually. It's normally full of paint as well. Oh, that's actually coming off. Ooh, let's get that off while it's smooth. It's deciding to come off. Because if you get any of your Angelina Fibres stuck to it, they're not going to come off. Yep, so this is the one I would use for sealing paints, my Angelina Fibres. What else do I use this one for? I'm trying to think. Oh, melting wax, that type of thing. So you want something that's going to be hot, but you'll see mine hasn't got any water in it because I don't want the steam. Morning, Mum. That's my iron. And then we're going to also stamp using our Angelina Fibres, or create the image in Angelina Fibres. So you're going to want some Stays On ink. I am hoping mine is nice and juicy. Maybe not. But Stays On is the one and only ink to use with your Angelina Fibres. So let's get going, shall we? I'm just going to plug my iron in because you do need it nice and hot for this. I'm just going to stretch across and plug him in. I should have moved my plugs a bit closer, shouldn't I? At least I don't have to go rooting under my desk. There we go. So my iron is on. He's just going to be warming up. So I'm going to move him to one side. I'll try not to get him stuck on anything. And then I'm going to take my greaseproof paper. I might have cut myself a bit too big a piece here. Yes, I don't quite need it this big. So I'm just going to pop that in half. I do want it to fit me palm out, so I'll do it about there. I'm just going to trim this last little piece off. Don't want to use that. There we go, so I've got myself a nice little sandwich. Mum's not used hers in years. I haven't actually. It's one of those drawers I don't like going in, because I know as soon as I touch it, I'm going to be wearing it for the next few days. So I'm going to pop that up there. I'm just going to turn my iron down a little bit. There we go. So I've got this little packet now that I'm going to work inside, and I'm going to be even better. And I'm just going to take my edges down because it's a little bit curly. It was nearly the end of the roll. There we go. I'm going to pop that there, and I'm going to pop. Oh, that is the end of my roll. Let's see if I've got any on that one. I've done that with a lot of my washi tapes recently. There you go. And I'm just going to stick that down. You don't have to do this. It's just mine. It's super, super curly, and I don't want it to be. There we go. Right. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to use some of this gorgeous green. I'm just going to create a bit of a background with it at the moment to show you how it works first off. So all I'm going to do is take a few little fibres out. You can see. You can use as many as you want. So that, popping it down like this, I'm going to get a nice wispy background. So imagine, I'm actually going to go for it. I'm going to go for some of this gorgeous white as well. So I'm just going to take a little smidgen of this one too. And you can see why it goes everywhere, can't you? So I'm just going to drag it between my fingers to try and get all my fibres the same way, because I want a bit of like a crisscross image with this one. Not image, effect. So I'm not using much at all here, because I want this to be like a bit of floof behind this. I'd use this for. There we go. I'm going to close my sandwich. I should have done it a bit closer up that way. And then we're just going to heat. So I'm just going to pop our heat on. Oh, look, I don't know if you can quite see that green coming through already. And what I've just realised is I've not protected my worktop. I got too eager. There we go. I just need to slide and mask underneath. There we go. Pop that one underneath. There we go. That's better. Just realised I'm ironing straight onto my worktop. It'll never like that, will it? So I'm just going to give it another quick iron. And all it does is it fuses those beautiful fibres together. I did turn my iron down a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to pick this up. And if I hold it up, can you see how beautiful that would look? I'm talking about cards and in your journals and things like that here. But you can use this on clothing or in your soft fabrics as well. You basically just sew it in. But look how delicate you can make that. How beautiful that green. It's not showing the green. Oh, it might be. Hang on. Oh, it is. There you go. You can just get how beautiful that green is. So I have gone really, really gentle popping mine on there. I've got next to nothing on there, but you can see it's still quite strong. But imagine that behind a saying or a sentiment or something. Beautiful. So I'm going to put that to one side, and you can see I've got all my little taggly bits everywhere as well. So I'm going to open up my sandwich again. I've even tidied off my desk to do this today. Doesn't want to stay, how rude. Well, now, there we go. So I'm going to use that gorgeous green again, just because it's on my desk. So we were just popping it down in a pile, basically, then. But we can manipulate it as well, can't we? So I've got my gorgeous green. I'm going to just start to twist and loop. Remember, it's not going to hold. So there we go. And we'll twist and loop again. So I'm going to make it into nice little workable pieces. Oh, excuse me. I've already got this everywhere, so I'm just going to twist it a little bit. And again, I'm doing a lot of I'm gonnas. I'm thinking a bit like that maybe. I'm going to take some more here. You can see why it gets everywhere though, can't you? Because it's just so fine and beautiful. I'm just making it, flattening out again into little pieces. I'm just playing basically. Morning Jackie, sorry. What's that hot heavy thing? I know, I had to go find it. But it is, I will say it's my crafting one, so I don't mind using my crafting one. The other one though just sits in the cupboard. And it looked at me. And for some reason this one had ended up in the same cupboard because I couldn't find it the other day. But yeah, so can you see I am just manipulating my little fibres and popping them on. I'm creating a bit of like I don't know what I'm creating here, but we're going with it. I'm trying to show you basically you can make whatever kind of background you want. Let's just get some of this other good stuff that's just hanging around. It feels a lot like when I'm baking with the kids and I say to them, can you just sprinkle a little bit of flour on the worktop? And you come back and the whole bag of flour's on the worktop. That's kind of like the best way I can describe working with Angelina Fibres. It just gets everywhere, but it is beautiful. If you're really brave, you could use it directly like this onto your card, couldn't you? Let's see what else we can create with this. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more of this gorgeous green. Trying to think what colour this one is. This one is lime green. I should have guessed really, shouldn't I? And I'm just going to make a bit of a stalk because it's starting to look a bit like a branch or a leaf. I'm going to move it up a bit because I'm running out of mat underneath. And then if I did that, it'd be a little bit flimsy, yeah? So I'm going to go with that white we had because this white's gorgeous. I'm going to create a bit of a background for it. So again, I'm just trying to straighten out those fibres. Yeah. I'm just going to start laying it over. Ooh! Doesn't help as well if you've got rough hands, which mine seem to be a bit today. I'm going to keep popping it down. Remember, when you're doing this, you need to work from the front to the back, and that's really important when we come to layer it onto our stamps. I've got a bit of that white on there. I have got some of this gold that's now all over. I don't think this one's called gold. I think it's more of a bronzy colour. So I'm just making my sandwich. So this is kind of my background. I've got a bit more of that one on. Ooh. Oh, it's excitement of my washing line deciding to break before. There we go. So I think I've got that lovely green, I've got it on white, and then we've got, I don't know what colour that one is. Yeah, not got a clue. And then I'm going to close my sandwich. And can you see here, I've got Angelina Fibres just sticking out of my sandwich. So if I was using my posh iron, that'd get on my iron, and we really don't want it. So I'm just going to shove it back under there. So just be very aware where your stragglers are. And then we're just going to place that iron on. And we're just going to heat him up. And like I was saying before, you could be doing this for your soft fabrics. So you could be popping this onto an item of clothing. You could just create panels of it to create lovely shimmering bits on your makes. You can make little patches like we did to put behind your sentiments and things on your card making. Right, just check if that has fused together. It should have done. It has indeed. But I'm going to give it a little bit more. There we go. And I'll whip this one out. So I'm going to take my sandwich back out. And look at my beautiful sandwich filling. Don't look much on that side, but if I turn it round, can you see? My screen's pants. You can. You guys can see. I can't see on my screen. Can you see we've got that beautiful almost leaf kind of pattern I've tried to pop in there. But just look at the shimmer on that. I mean, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah? I'm trying to think what we could use that for. But you can see, again, nice and sturdy. You just sew through that to add it to your clothing. If I didn't want these bits up here, trim them off. And you know what's really great? If you've got bits that bit there, don't like it, take it off to one side, leave it in a pile, and then when you finish making, you'll have a pile of all the bits that you really didn't like, and just stick them all together, and you create these wonderful, like, abstract kind of pieces. So I'm trying to see if I've got one down here. Maybe not. This is my bits from demo boxes. See, this is where we've cut it off. So if you had lots and lots of bits, so if I was to cut that heart out, for example, I can find a pair of scissors. There we go. It is gorgeous and shimmery, isn't it? And I don't know why I don't use it more often. It's because I've built it up into my head that it's like, oh, I'm going to be wearing it. I'm going to be shimmery for a week afterwards. But again, it's one of them products that doesn't get sung its praises enough. It is gorgeous. Right, so I've now got Angelina Fibres everywhere. Here we go. I've got a gorgeous little heart I can use. And he's got straggly bits. Rude. Make sure my iron wasn't touching me cable. So you've now got your straggly bits cut off-ish. And how amazing would that look on in a journal or something like that? My little heart. And then I have got, I'm going to move this out of the way, all these really cool bits that I've either cut off or I just didn't like. And what we're going to do is we're going to position them a little bit, just like that. So don't, what I'm trying to say is, don't throw any of it away. Use an anti-static bag, or you could use one. I'm not sure how well it would work. They do justify, because they are so fine and so light. Yeah, you can see this has got a bit of all sorts in it, hasn't it? As soon as you breathe near it, it just goes everywhere. I'm going to have a bit of a hole there, aren't I? Anyway, you get the idea. Get your scraps, move them together. Yep. And then let's see what this creates. Because you can reheat them. Yep. So just pop it down. And just go slowly over it. And you can normally tell when it's had enough heat because it goes flat. It's not bouncing back up anymore. Mine is, because my heat mat's decided to bounce. There we go. But really important you use your iron or your greaseproof paper. Otherwise, it's just going to stick to your iron, isn't it? Yucky. Don't want that. So there we go. My greaseproof paper doesn't want to stay in its little bit of washi tape. There we go. So you can see I've now got a rather abstract looking piece. But again, think of this behind sentiments and things on your cards, or in your, you can still see bits coming out. So give it a shake. pop it back down, shall we? And then I'll reheat it and grab those little bits that were still there. It does, it gets everywhere. Sorry, squeaky chair time. But you could just use the little bits of it. Yep. I do get carried away when I start playing with it, and it is fun. See? How cool is that? And it has got a texture to it as well, and it's just looking really, really sweet. And that's my scraps. Yeah? So what else have I got? What else have I got in my box? I think I'm going to grab some of this gorgeous one. And I want to make, you know, a bit like the circles we were doing a minute ago. So I'm thinking for behind my sentiments on like a really nice autumnal card. I quite like that shape already, so I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to do the same again. So I'm just pulling it out. I want straight bits for this. Let me get rid of that. I think I've got too much in my hand. So what I had there was one of the 5-gram golds from the starter pack, from one of the sampler packs. But you can see you get loads in it, because you don't actually need much. So again, I'm going to do there we go. I'm thinking autumnal, like some leaves or something in front of this to make a card out of it. Let me grab these other little bits that are here. I'm just going to fill in that gap there, because it does become quite rigid. Oh, I need more washi tape, I think. There we go. I'm going to pop that down. So you can manipulate it, is what I'm trying to show you. Manipulate it into the shapes you need. Oh, got a piece in my mouth then. Yeah. Thought it was a piece of hair at first. No, it's Angelina Fibre. There we go. Imagine, oh, I've just had an idea for these. Imagine our little Frida the fox. I might have to dig her out in a bit and have a play. Our little Frida. I'm just going to give it a quick. Oh yes, our little Frida sat at the edge of one of these. Okay, I'm just gonna, well, I won't, because I want to do something else. Yeah, so our little foxy sat on the edge. I'm gonna want some of my dark green. So what's this one called? Apple green, this one. Because I want to put a little bit of green into it. Not a lot. I said to myself before we started this, right, I'm not going to get all the colours out because I'll just get them everywhere. No, I should have done. So I'm just going to make like little leaves or something. I'm just going to squizzle it up. If it'd let me. So I'm just manipulating the fibres into little shapes. I'm going to go with this one, I think. This one's beautiful though. It has got greens and like the clear holographic in there. So again, I'm just manipulating it. And I can go back to this as many times as I want to. Just adding me layers if I want to. Or if I'm feeling brave, I could have done it all in one go. But I didn't know I wanted little leaves on this before. I do now. Actually, I'm going to change my idea. Have it kind of draped a little bit around it. My leaves weren't quite working out as I wanted. What I want is a bit of greenery in there. If for our little Frida, so it looks like she's sat amongst like a tree or something, or a nest, or a clearing in a forest. Let's just pop that a little bit around here. There we go. Just throw my bits on there as well. Make sure it's not going to come out my sandwich in a moment. Close it up. And then remember, you can always sew into it, so adding little berries and things like that to it, or you could use your like your poofy stuff. I've forgotten what it's called. You know, when you put it on and it poofs up on you. Your poofy powders, your poofy gels. There we go. Right, we'll pop that there. Let's have a look at this one. Fluffy stuff. There we go. I knew you'd know what I mean by poofy stuff. So there's the back, and there's our little green bit. I got there in the end. Oh, expanding moose. I haven't heard of that one. But now I've got a choice to make, haven't I? I'm going to just pull them gently apart. So that one, you've got a little hint of green coming through. Or that one, you've got more green. I personally prefer that side. Just little hints. And then imagine Frida Fox sat down there. I think that has to be made into a card. I don't know where Frida is, so I can't do it right now. And then same with this one. Yeah, how beautiful is that? There we go. Right, so we've been manipulating our fibres. We want to stamp with them. So this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky, because we have to think. I know, and I don't do thinking, do I? No. That's like too much hard work. So we have to plan ahead on this one. I'm going to get my stamp. Now, when it comes to stamps, you want red rubber, grey rubber, or high grade photopolymer, which is what ours made out of. Other clear stamps that are made from silicone or acrylic will just melt with the heat. Yep, so you need to know you've got a high grade photopolymer stamp. So ours fine. Other companies, I would ask them. If they're not sure, there's normally like a little stamp in a set that you're not too keen on. I'd use that one, test it. If it melts under the heat, you're not going to be able to do this. If it doesn't, all good. Now, just reminded myself, I did kick my water bottle. So, there we go. You're going to need your water bottle as well for this, because what we're going to do is basically suck all the moisture out of our stamp. Yep. Because stamps aren't designed to get hot. They can do it, but we also need to protect them. Yeah. So you always need to use your ink, because it gives a protective layer between your stamp and your Angelina fibres, so it helps release it. And then at the end, we need to spritz it, so we give our stamp back all the moisture it's lost. Because imagine you sitting out in the sun all day, you get a bit dehydrated, and it's the same for your stamp. If you've got that heat on it, you need to rehydrate the little stamp. So now this is where I have to hope my stays on, because you need to use stays on for this. I need to hope my stays on has got some juice left in it. I didn't think to check. And we need to, oh, I can smell it. You need to give it a really good coverage. So when you think it's inked, give it a little bit more. I'll try and make it stop making that noise. There you go. Actually, before we did this, what I should have done is decided what colours I'm using. So I'm going to use that gorgeous green for our stalk. I'm going to use that white, because I really do love that. Well, it's white, but it's got such a holographic kind of colour to it. My flower head. I'm liking, look at my bag, it's all frilly. I'm loving that pink for my flower head. I'm going to get that out. And I know I've got a black centre, but I think I want a little bit of gold or something coming out. So I did have a little bit of gold, didn't I? I did, look at that. So I've got this kind of gold that's got like a bluey tinge coming through. So I've now got them all over my desk. I'm going to go back to inking up my stamp. I was that eager to find out whether my my ink pad had ink in it. You are better with a juicy ink pad for this, so my ink might not come off as well as it can do. So just make sure you really ink it. If anything, I'm over inking, yeah. So give it a real good press. And you can hear it giving it a good... There we go. And we need to think of this back to front. So what do I want my first layer to be? Because we've got to work in reverse. So I want my gold in my centre. Yeah, because I'm thinking about my layers. So what would be my top layer? There we go. Right. I'm hoping I've got enough ink on there. I have chose quite a big stamp to go with. So I'm going to start off with this gorgeous gold. And I'm just going to add, that's a bit too much, pop it back a little bit to my centre. And I know you're not going to see it, a lot of it, because I've got that gorgeous, I've got that quite solid centre in this stamp, but you can see little bits poking out. And then I'm going to take my pink and I'm just going to do what we did before. I'm going to pull it into nice long strands and I'm just going to layer it from there. And I'm working a little bit faster than I was before, so I'm just layering it, and can you see I'm kind of going out? Yeah. So again, pulling it. Need a little bit more on that one. You need to make sure basically that you've got it covering your stamp. There we go. I'm just going to pop a little bit more up here. There we go. I'm going to come down here. If you're unsure, just give it a bit of a move around. Try not to move it too much though, because obviously you've got black ink on there. There we go. I think my pink's alright. I'm going to go back to my green. Gorgeous green. I'm not normally a lime greeny kind of girl, but I mean, you can't not love this lime green, can you? And we're just going to come down, follow our stem, stalk. And then I've got a leaf that's there. And then I did say I've got some white, which is just going to fill in any gaps we have got. So I'm going to start going around, adding a few little bits in. Ooh. There we go. Made this a bit bigger than I thought I was going to. But you can see I've got it lovely and layered up. I think I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to move it so it's right in the middle of my sandwich. And then gently, the last thing you want to do is move all your Angelina fibres when you put your sandwich back together. And then we're just going to splat. And I'm not moving around as much on this one, because I'm going to push it if I don't. If I do even. So I just want to add the heat. And if you look carefully, you should, she says, start to see that black ink come through. You can start to see it down here. I definitely put way more on that top bit than I planned to, but that's okay. Just means it's going to take us a little bit longer. Now I know it's starting to set, I'm going to start to jiggle it a bit. There we go. So I know this bottom bit's worked, because I can see my image. I am adding a bit of pressure to my iron as well, just because it looks like I've gone a bit thick here on my ink, on my fibres. Worst case, I've got a lovely little stalk. There we go. I need to make sure I get right up to the top of my stamp. And yes, I am taking my time with this bit. And if I want to check it, I can. Not sure I inked up the top of my stamp quite enough. Another quick wiggle. I know I'm using an iron. Oof. Most of used an iron in years. Well, no, when we're quilting we use an iron quite a lot. Right, I'm going to give this a whirl and see if it's worked. I was a bit ambitious doing such a big stamp. So I know this end has worked, so I'll swizz it round. And we're just going to ease it back. Very gently. Very gently. Very gently. Do. Very gently. Very gently. There we go. Can you see? We have got our gorgeous flower in there. I didn't quite ink up enough there. Look at that. And you'll find as well it's debossed, yeah, because of the heat of having that underneath it. I suppose you could do it with your stencils, but I don't know how the stencils would take the heat. Yeah, so how beautiful is that? Okay, right, so now I want to protect my stamp because my stamp's still really hot. So what I'm going to do, this is where if you've got a nice big area to work on, it is so much better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this stamp back some moisture, and you'll hear it fizzle. There we go. And we just want to give that stamp a little bit of its moisture back. And what it also does is help you get rid of the Angelina fibres on your stamp. But you can see that stamp starting to go, oh, thank you for that. I'm just going to keep working it round, and you can feel how hot that stamp is. So I'm just letting it sit with that water on it. Now a lot of people say, yeah, you don't need to do this. I think you do, because just think about it. It's like what I was saying about if you were sat on the beach all day, you're going to be hot, you're going to be dehydrated, and it's exactly the same for the stamp. Being under that much heat for so long. You just need to give it back a little bit of moisture. Okay, so look a bit there, and it does help you get rid of your Angelina fibres. So there is kind of method in my madness, isn't there? It helps me get rid of any of the fibres that are left on there, and it just gives that moisture back to your stamp. As you can see, I've got some more fibres there, then I've stuck to my finger. There you go. I'm going to leave that water just sitting on that stamp a little bit longer because it is still quite hot. Pop that back down there whilst it dries. So you can see it is really easy to use your stamps with your Angelina fibres. So should we do another one? Like I say, you do want a nice juicy stays on ink pad, not an old ratty one like mine. I should have got a new one out. Or at least realised mine wasn't that juicy. So I'm going to move that to one side. I'm going to see if I can find another little stamp. Yeah, I was trying to find somewhere to put my stamp block down there. And I'm just going to grab, I thought there I did. I thought I'd left one on my desk. So I'm just going to grab this one. Oops, the daisy. We'll do it all over again. I'm going to use this lovely little one. I should have started off with a smaller one, really. So I've got all these bits here, which we'll do something with. So I'm going to my colours again. I think I might do blue this time. Oh no, I'm going to go silver. I'm going to go silver for my flower head. And then green. And a bit of green. I'm getting adventurous now with my colours, aren't I? I think I might go back to that one as well. A bit of that bronze and just do like a couple of swooshes behind it. Yep. Right, so ink. So again, like I said before, you really want to be inking your stamp up really, really well. Juicier ink pad, the better. There we go. So I'm going to start with my flower head because again, that's the bit I want on the top. So I'm going to grab some of this gorgeousness. And we're going to create like a little pinwheel, I think, going around on this one. There we go. And make sure my fibres are running similar directions. There we go. I'm just going to pop a little bit more just on that side. And then I'm going to do a different green. Grab some of this gorgeous one. This one is Green Sparkle. They have some interesting names. It's the one I used before, I think. On my little. So again, I want to pop that coming down my stalk. It's easiest to do this when you stood above it, I think. I've got a green bit there for me leaf and my leaf, and then I think I'm just going to leave it at that actually. And make sure it's in the middle of my sandwich. Make sure my straggly enders are in the middle, and then I'm going to close that sandwich up and then just splat. But again, it would work so much better if you had a nice inky ink, not an old one that's been sat there for a good year or two. Well, actually it's been more than that. It's been in that box for a wee while, that ink. I used to always put the date on my ink when I opened it to see how long the inks were lasting, but I haven't got a date on it. Right. So I've done this one quite thick. You just have patience. I'm not a very patient person. I want it done now when I'm creating. There we go. I'm going to have a sneaky peek, see if I'm liking what I'm seeing. If I don't, we'll put it back in its little sandwich. Ooh, I am liking what I'm seeing. I'm just going to give it another little. I'm not on full whack, which is why it's taking a bit longer than normal. I think it always takes longer than you think when you've got people watching. And I've put it on quite thick. Right, moment of truth. Open up our sandwich. And then we're going to peel this back. So at the moment it looks like I've just gone green, but because we layer up from the front, there we go. Okay. Now I could cut that out if I wanted to, or I could leave it like that. Completely up to you what you do with it. How cute's that? Oh, excuse me. I've got fibres flying everywhere. But isn't that cute? Obviously, if you wanted to sew it onto something, I'd probably trim it down, because you don't want all this. But you might do. And then you just pop it on there. If I was attaching it to a card or to my journal or something like that, I'd probably be looking at using some silicone glue. Or a really good strong acrylic glue to pop it on there. Just because obviously it's like attaching an acrylic, isn't it? Or an acetate. So there you go. Right. Just going to give that stamp a quick spritz again. It's not as hot as the other one. You know when they're really hot because you can hear the water sizzle. There we go. I'm just going to drag any of my extra Angelina fibres off. It's getting its moisture. I'm getting it free of Angelina fibres. The kitchen rolls ran out. I need to grab one from over here. Ooh. I'll treat myself to a new kitchen roll. It means I can see it on my desk better. Didn't want to put that right next to my iron, did I? No, not the best idea. There we go. Just make sure that stamp has got all its little moisture back that you've just whipped out of it. And then it's all good to use again. Right, there we go. So that's that little one. So that is hopefully a bit of a quick idea of how to use your Angelina fibres. So what have we created? We have created some stamped images. Like that. Oh, come back, Mr. Camera. Thank you. It's the shiny bits it doesn't like, isn't it? We created a leftover background, if I can find it. There it is. Our little, so gorgeous piece there from our leftovers. It is very sparkly. My camera's going, nope, don't like it, don't like it. We created some gorgeous little, like, let's see if I can find a white piece of card. Should be easy to find a white piece of card, but it never is it? This one. There we go, if we pop that on there. How cool will that look? A little Frida in the corner. I need to go and dig her out so I can find her. So gorgeous, like little wreath, just by manipulating where we popped our fibres. Again, we've got another one there. That gorgeous green and brown. We created some sort of leaf patterny thing. Again, my screen doesn't really do these justice, but they are gorgeous. There we go. And then where we started off with, just gently layering them on. Look at that. That's going to look amazing, isn't it? Behind a sentiment or something. I'm trying to see if I've got a sentiment going spare. Oh, there we go. Now I wanted a slightly bigger sentiment. Yeah. But how cool does that look? Gorgeous, isn't it? So, there you go. A whirlwind tour of Angelina fibres. And I'm going to sit and pick that off my belly all day because it's all over my jumper. So let me unplug my iron. There we go. Otherwise, you know, it'll just get super hot. So, I hope you've enjoyed that. I've lost my mouse. Hello, where's my mouse gone? There he is. It's all go. I've used an iron today, and then I couldn't find my mouse and my washing line snapped, so I'm going to go and fix that right now. So I hope you enjoyed that. I've had a bit of fun playing with my Angelina fibres. You'll have to watch out where they come up in some projects. I've got chilly arms now. I have to see if they come up in some projects, especially, where's that beautiful one? That really fine one. That is just gorgeous, isn't it? Like gorgeous, gorgeous colours. And I know the camera doesn't do it justice because it is just so sparkly, and none of the descriptions and the names either really do them justice. Because like the white is not white, it has got beautiful blues in there, it's got, well, it's just like holographic. But yeah, I keep showing it to that camera, I don't know why I do that. There, but yeah, they are gorgeous. I'm trying to think what I can use that on. Must be something I can. Right, so that is it for me. Thank you for joining me today. We will be back on Monday at 7, hopefully launching the new monthly make box. They are nearly ready to go out, so they will be heading to the post office very shortly. Yeah, and I do hope you like them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be launching our November monthly make on Monday, as long as most of you have got your boxes. So thank you for joining me. Any questions about Angelina's, let me know. I hope I covered it. I hope it was helpful. Or if not, it's inspired you to give it a go, because it really isn't that difficult. You need an iron, some greaseproof paper, and just go for it. That's all you need. So yeah, that is it for me. Thank you for joining me. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.